Stable, place for dinner I made sure the words are big, small, I made sure. What you did, yeah, you know I love you, but I can't forget that. You could tell me stay, but I have to go. I would not expect someone to stay. I did not mean to go live on nope. I did not mean to go live on YouTube first, but here we are. I hope y'all having a great day. I don't know who watches on YouTube, but thank you. I never know who it is, but I appreciate you. I appreciate you for being here. Thank you so much. Sorry I'm late, but I'm not sorry. I be having to wait till my mind is right. And I'm not good unless my mind is right. So I'm here. It took me a while to get here, but I'm here. Oof, child, I was wavy yesterday. I was quite lit, if you get my drift, yesterday. But it made for a good show. So retry the camera. Play with your mama. Don't play with me. Camera. Oh, come on, camera on Facebook. Let's see if this helps. Hope y'all are having a lovely day. Come on, camera on my computer. Do your thing so I can do my thing. There it is. It's doing its thing. See if I can get it to do the thing over here. Let's just refresh the page, shall we? It is what it is. Oh, I need to color my hair again. It's dark again. I like it to be bright. Well, y'all, it's the grind to 100. It's the grind to 100, and it's not been an easy one. It's not been an easy grind. It's continuing to not be an easy grind, but I'm okay with that. Do I have to open the camera again so that the thing knows to use the camera? I don't know. I have this really nice dress on. Well, it's not a dress, it's a romper. And then I have this jacket on, and they're the same length. So the look is actually really, really nice. Let's see. Let's refresh the page, see if this helps. I don't know if it will, but we'll just see what happens. Oh, so sorry, y'all. So sorry to make y'all wait. Hopefully you're doing something like hopefully you're doing something like cooking or something. Let me just close out the whole thing. Shall we? Try it again. Hey. This is why somebody sent me another computer, so I don't have to go through this. Once I get Facebook up, we in there, y'all. We in there. We in there. I keep looking over at the computer when y'all are right here. I keep looking at the computer that you're connected to, which is over here. And y'all are right there. Hello. All right. We are in business. All right. Let's go. Facebook. Here we go. We are in business. Here we go. Let's get Instagram up. I'm moving slow, y'all. I think I'm going to change the time of the show. I want to. I wanted to stay consistent with the 6 o'clock thing, but I think it'd be just better for everybody if I change the time to 7 instead of 6. But we'll find out when people get in here how everybody feels about it. Somebody had already suggested that I do that before, and now I'm really thinking about doing it because I be needing that extra time. So just so y'all can see, I don't know how far back I can go. Can't go very far back. But just so y'all can see the fit, like, look at the pockets, right? And the jacket. And I have these nice shoes. I have a very, very nice shoe to go with it. I love this shoe, by the way. It's very awkward for me to be showing y'all my shoe. Facebook, what you doing? Bud, friend, buddy, old pal. What you doing, Facebook? Why you lagging? Why you sticking? Let's close that, see if that helps anything. Facebook, why you got the lag thing going on? All right, let's try this again. We're going to try it again with Facebook because Facebook always be acting up all the time. It'd be Facebook. And that's fine. It's fine. I hope y'all having a lovely day. Lovely day. Delete that video. Yes. And then we're going to get into this book. Oh, I'm not going to lie to y'all. It was a little tough to get here today. But I'm happy to be here. Let's have a discussion though. Nope, we're going to paste and go live. All right, so this should be better. Hopefully it's better. Facebook, don't let me down, baby. Don't let me down. Don't let me down, Facebook. Let me share this on Twitter. Actually, I don't need to do that. I can just share on Twitter. Twitters. Go here. Oh, there's so many things I could do down here. I can create a poll. I can ask questions. Wow. I'm not there yet. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Hope y'all are doing great. Hope y'all are having a great day. Whoever's hanging out on YouTube, you're a real one. You're a real one. All right, it's been shared to my profile. Welcome in. Hello, hello. Welcome in. Welcome in. We are late, but we're here. And I'm thankful. We are late, but we are here. And I'm super thankful. Really considering moving the show to 7 o'clock. Really contemplating that. Let me do a poll. Create a poll. That's a thing that I can do on Facebook. I can create a poll on Facebook. I don't know where that shows up. I don't know where that shows up, but whatever. We're here now. Let's see. Can I do a little poll type thing over here? Okay. Nope. All right, whatever. Here we are. It's been enough time. No one here, but for those that are watching in the playback, welcome to Reading with Miss Taylor Said. My name is Taylor. I'm also known as Miss Taylor Said, and I started this show on November 30th, 2020 in an effort to accomplish some goals of mine. One of those goals being that I would like to actually complete the books that I own. I've purchased and collected and been gifted a lot of books over the years. I've started a lot of them. I did not finish most of them. I haven't finished the books that I've purchased, started, whatever. So I actually would like to read the books that I own. The second reason why I started the show is because I want to get more comfortable with reading aloud in front of an audience. The things that I want to do in my career are going to include me reading off of teleprompters, cue cards, speeches, scripts, those types of things. And I want to get more comfortable with reading things the way that they're supposed, with reading things and saying things the way that they're supposed to, based on who wrote them and based on how they need to be presented. I want to get more comfortable with doing that. And the third reason why I started the show is because I want to get more comfortable with public speaking. I used to be in the public speaking space when I was in high school and college. I got away from it for most of my 20s, and I'm turning 30 this year, and it really is my passion. I really love being at the front of the room talking to people. So I'm thankful for this platform. I'm thankful for the audience, I'm thankful that you guys are here, whether you're here in the playback or you're here now. I'm thankful for you all being here. I'm getting practice with engaging with an audience, and I just love this space. I love this space. We are reading Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents. We are reading Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents. And yesterday we finished chapter 5. And chapter 5 was talking about how different children react to emotionally immature parents. And what we learned yesterday are that there are two main reactions to emotionally immature parents. One reaction being internalizing, the other reaction being externalizing. If you missed that episode, go back wherever you're watching. If you're watching on Instagram, you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on YouTube, go back, look under, the Reading What Miss Taylor Said tab, if there is one, and just watch the previous episode so you can get an understanding of what an internalizer versus an externalizer is. Chapter 6, however, is going to focus on what it's like being an internalizer. Chapter 6 focuses on what it's like being an internalizer. Hey, friend, I'm reading Adult Children of Emotionally Immature Parents. Chapter 6 talks about what it's like to be an internalizer. So let's go ahead and get started. I probably should have brought myself a bottle of water over here, but we're an hour late. So, here we are. As children, perceptive internalizers can't help but notice when their parents aren't truly connecting with them. They register emotional hurt in a way that a less aware child doesn't, and therefore are affected deeply by growing up with emotionally immature parents. Because internalizers are sensitive to the subtleties of their relationships with loved ones, when they have an emotionally unengaged parent, they are much more aware of the painful loneliness that results. Welcome in, welcome in. In this chapter, we'll take a closer look at the characteristics of internalizers. We'll also explore the pitfalls of an internalizing style, particularly how hopes for a close connection can lead people to do too much for others to the point of neglecting themselves. Hi, my name is Taylor. I do too much for others to the point of neglecting myself. Yay, thanks for internalizing. First section says, internalizers are highly sensitive and perceptive. If you're an internalizer, you may wonder how you ended up being so alert to other people's inner states. It could be that you were prompted to be so attuned to the feelings and needs of others by something as basic as your nervous system. Internalizers are extremely sensitive and, far more than most people, notice everything. They react to life as if they were an emotional tuning fork, picking up and resonating with vibrations from other people and the world around them. This perceptiveness can be both a blessing and a curse. As one client described it to me, my brain absorbs everything. I can't believe how much stuff I pick up on. It seeps right into me. That's me. I don't even know how this is how deeply, how sensitive I am. In my own apartment, it's just me. But because the walls are so thin in our building, I almost can pick up the moods of the people in my building based on how heavy their footsteps are. Based on how people close things, like the way it sounds when people close things, when they walk into different rooms, the way they sit on the bed, if I can hear it, I almost can I almost can pick up the emotion that's associated with the sound that I hear that is outside of my own apartment. So, very sensitive. I'm very sensitive to sounds, people's facial expressions, people's body language, people's tone of voice, the way people look in their eyes, especially the way people look in their eyes. I'm incredibly sensitive to all of that because I had an emotionally immature parent. I'm not saying that both my parents weren't emotionally immature, but there was one that was particularly immature. And because she didn't have, because they didn't have a really great way of articulating their needs and not making everything about them, I had to learn how to adjust to their mood based on the things they didn't say. And I'm sure the book is going to talk about that, but I'm just saying my own experience. I know a lot of us can relate because we're here. Because the people that are here are probably people that can relate to that. So internalizers may have an exceptionally alert nervous system from birth. Some research has found that differences in babies' levels of attunement to the environment can be seen at a very early age. Even as 5-month-old infants, some babies show more perceptiveness and sustained interest than others. Furthermore, these characteristics were found to be correlated with the kinds of behaviors children engaged in as they matured. In his review of his own and others' research, neuroscientist Stephen Porges has made a strong case that innate neurological differences exist even in newborns. His research suggests that from early in life, people may differ widely, in their ability to self-soothe and regulate physiological functions when under stress. To me, this seems to indicate the possibility that a predisposition to a certain coping style may exist from infancy. Listen, I've been like this since I was a baby. And I know I've been like this since I was a baby because I know that there was high levels of stress during my infancy, during pregnancy and my infancy. So I'm sure. Yep. All right. The first section says internalizers have strong emotions. Internalizers don't act out their emotions immediately like externalizers do. So their feelings have a chance to intensify as they're held inside. It's like a whole chapter about my life. It's amazing. And because they feel things deeply, it isn't surprising when internalizers are often seen as overly sensitive or too emotional. When internalizers experience a painful emotion, they're much more likely to look sad or cry, just the sort of display an emotionally phobic parent can't stand. When internalizers experience a painful emotion, they're much more likely to look sad or cry, just the sort of behavior, just the sort of display an emotionally phobic, I've never even freaking heard that before, emotionally phobic parent can't stand. On the other hand, when externalizers have strong feelings, they act them out in behavior before they experience much internal distress. Therefore, other people are likely to see externalizers as having a behavior problem rather than an emotional issue, even though emotions are causing the behavior. So when people are just like, that kid is bad, no, that kid is under emotional distress, and you're not looking at the person that may be causing it because you don't want to blame the adult, because then you'd have to acknowledge your own mishaps and your own flaws. But that baby is stressed. That baby is under stress. That baby is emotionally not being seen or heard. And because they are not internalizers, they hit you with it across the head. Pow, pow. Emotionally immature parents may yell at or punish externalizers for their behavior, whereas they're more likely to dismiss or reject internalizers' feelings with shaming, contempt, or derision. I don't know what derision means, but that's why we have a dictionary. Derision. And of course, it's not in here. Of course, it's not in here. Anyway, I am very curious about what derision means. Excuse me. And while externalizers are told that their behavior is a problem, internalizers get the message that their very nature is the problem. Ooh, okay. Okay, I'm gonna read that section over again. All right, because I'm processing this and I want us to process this together. Emotionally immature parents may yell at or punish externalizers for their behavior, whereas they're more likely to dismiss or reject internalizers' feelings with shaming, contempt, or derision. And while externalizers are told that their behavior is a problem, internalizers get the message that their very nature is the problem. For example, one woman's father sarcastically said that if she ever wrote a book about her life, she should call it Crying Over Spilt Milk. She was deeply hurt because she knew her emotional intensity was a characteristic she could never change. Her father's sarcasm had zeroed in on her very core. Yes, derision, contemptuous ridicule or mockery. Thank you, friend. Yep. I got picked on for being the crybaby. I still get picked on for me. Yo, dead ass. Like when bad news happens, my family, they're just like, oh, don't tell Taylor. Literally, don't tell me vital information that's happening, especially to the health of our family, of somebody in our family. They say, don't tell Taylor because she's going to cry. If you don't tell me that shit so I can go ahead and get to thinking about what I need to do next, but because my sensitive nature, my emotional expression is seen as a weakness or an inconvenience to the people in my family, they literally withhold information from me because they can't handle my emotional reactions. They can't handle my emotional reactions. And they are uncomfortable with my emotional reactions. So then I am left out of important information, important conversations, and I'm infantilized because I'm treated as if I'm this sensitive, fragile little baby when I'm a grown ass woman who is expressive emotionally. That's it. That's all. But the very existence of my emotional expression and my ability to capture other people's feelings, internalize them, and then make assessments based on it. And if that assessment is, I need to fucking cry right now, it is what it is. Like that is seen as a weakness and an inconvenience. And so then I'm punished for existing in the way that I am. Ain't that shit wild? That shit is wild. It really is. Anyway, internalizers, the next section is called internalizers have a deep need for connection. Because they're so attuned to feelings, have a deep need for connection. Again, me. Because they're so attuned to feelings, internalizers are extremely sensitive to the quality of emotional intimacy in their relationships. Their entire personality longs for emotional intimacy. Their entire personality longs for emotional spontaneity and intimacy. And they can't help but be, I'm sorry, y'all. They can't be satisfied with less. Their entire personality longs for emotional spontaneity and intimacy, and they can't be satisfied with less. Therefore, when they're raised by immature and emotionally phobic parents, they feel painfully lonely. If there's anything internalizers have in common, it's their need to share their inner experience. As children, their need for genuine emotional connection is the central fact of their existence. Their need for genuine emotional connection is the central fact of their experience, of their existence, Nothing hurts their spirit more than being around someone who won't engage with them emotionally. I'm going to cry at some point while reading this, just so y'all know, because wow. I was chasing waterfalls and there were no rivers and lakes to stick to because I just wanted someone in my life to connect with me emotionally. And I had that. My stepfather was very good about that because he also is an internalizer. Okay. Nothing hurts their spirit more than being around someone who won't engage with them emotionally. A blank face kills something in them. They read people closely, looking for signs that they've made a connection. This isn't a social urge like wanting people to chat with. It's a powerful hunger to connect heart to heart with a like-minded person who can understand them. They find nothing more exhilarating than clicking with someone who gets them. When they can't make that kind of connection, they feel emotional loneliness. That is my life story. I've constantly been. Shouts out to S, hot drink. Shouts out to S, hot drink. Oh. You talking about my dad? Yeah. I don't know what you gonna have to tell me what that means. Yes, yes, yes. S hot drink. Aha! I get what you're saying. Okay, it took me a second to figure it out. Hey, baby sis. She says, shout out to S hot drink. Dad. That's dad. Because his first name is S. His last name is hot drink. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. All right. So, all right, here we go. Here we go. Don't mind me. Leave me alone. All right. So, okay. I'm going to start the paragraph over because my baby sis just joined over here on Facebook. And so now I want her to hear this. If there's anything internalizers have in common, it's their need to share their emotion, their inner experience. As children, their need for genuine emotional connection is the central fact of their existence. Nothing hurts their spirit more than being around someone who won't engage with them emotionally. A blank face kills something in them. They read people closely, looking for signs that they've made a connection. This isn't a social urge. Hey, baby. This isn't a social urge like wanting people to chat with. It's a powerful hunger to connect heart to heart with a like-minded person who can understand them. They find nothing more exhilarating than clicking with someone who gets them. When they can't make that kind of connection, they feel emotional loneliness. From chapter 4, you may recall that this need for emotional responsiveness and reciprocal interaction from the parent is normal in securely attached babies. It's how parent-child bonding takes place. Research has demonstrated that securely attached babies demonstrate distress and breakdown if their mothers stop responding to them and show only an expressionless face. The poignancy of this distress can be viewed online at YouTube with the keyword search, still face experiment. Still face experiment, STILL face experiment. When internalizing children have self-involved parents, they often think that being helpful and hiding their needs will win their parents' love. Me. Think that being helpful and just assessing my parents' needs and acting like I don't have any emotional needs is being a good child instead of being like, hey, I'm your child. Oh, shoot. I done messed up, Lord. Hey, I'm your child. I have needs. Hi. Instead of being like that. There we go. Sorry, y'all. Instead of being like that, I'm just acting like I have no needs, right? Unfortunately, being counted on isn't the same as being loved. Woo! Unfortunately, being counted on is not the same as being loved. Unfortunately, being counted on is not the same as being loved. Are you listening to me, other internalizers? Unfortunately, being counted on by your parent is not the same as being loved by them. An emotional emptiness of this strategy eventually becomes apparent. No child can be good enough to evoke love from a highly self-involved parent. Nevertheless, these children come to believe that the price of making a connection is to put other people first and treat them as more important. They think they can keep relationships by being the giver. They think they can keep relationships by being the giver. Children who try to be good enough to win their parents' love have no way of knowing that unconditional love cannot be bought with conditional behavior. Children who try to be good enough to win their parents' love, hey, not both my sisters watching. Children who try to be good enough to win their parents' love have no way of knowing that unconditional love cannot be bought with conditional behavior. Logan's story. Logan, a 41-year-old professional musician, entered my office with a buzz of intensity, his red hair billowing like a storm cloud. Oh, her red hair, excuse me. Her red hair billowing like a storm cloud. She was dressed in all black and as skinny as a burnt match. She wasted no time in getting to the point. She had come to psychotherapy because her increasing irritability with people and an inability to unwind and relax. She knew that many of her issues were based in the anger she felt toward her family for the lack of emotional responsiveness to her. Although she came from a conventional religious family that emphasized family closeness and loyalty, she didn't feel a connection with them. She couldn't figure out how to interact with her parents and siblings in such a way that she could have a relationship with them and still be herself. I get tired of their unresponsiveness, Logan said angrily. I can't get them to listen to me or even see me for who I am. And then, excuse me. But then her shoulders sagged, and in a small, less confident voice, she said, I was raised to be a good little girl, but I didn't do that very well. When I got upset, they ignored me. I could be on fire, and they wouldn't notice. Underneath Logan's anger was a long-standing sadness. She'd been struggling to make sense of why she felt so rejected by her parents' seemingly normal behavior. Her feelings of isolation didn't match the official family story of loving togetherness. She wondered whether something was wrong with her. Perhaps she had always been too much for them. As an internalizer, Logan had a strong need for authentic emotional connection. Unfortunately, her self-preoccupied siblings and parents weren't interested in that kind of relationship. No one in her family paid attention to feelings, and her expressions of enthusiasm fell on deaf ears. In keeping with their emotional immaturity, her parents were intent on playing out their narrow family roles, as were her siblings. Logan summed up by saying, my parents are utterly unempathetic. We're never on the same wavelength. They don't want to be on my wavelength. It's safer for them, but for me, it's exhausting. Try as she may, Logan couldn't turn herself into the kind of conventional person her emotionally immature parents could relate to. And she felt defeated in her attempts to have more real closeness with them. Her failed efforts had sent her into a crisis of self-doubt and intense confusion. Was she crazy for needing so much from them? Logan had been on fire with emotional pain for a long time, but no one had noticed because she was so smart and successful. Yet, despite her accomplishments, Logan's lack of emotional closeness with her family left her feeling empty inside. To compensate for this lack of connection, Logan often tried to make people smile and feel good. She felt she would be valued only for what she could do for others, not for who she was. And that'd be it right there. That'd be the whole thing. Whew. Internalizers have strong instincts for genuine engagement. Getting water, y'all. Okay, cool. I'm back. Hopefully, it looks like it's foggy over here on Instagram, and I really hope we're good. I think we're good, though. I think we're good. Okay. So, internalizers have strong instincts for genuine engagement. If y'all still in here, say what's up. Feelings of isolation and disconnection are stressful, but have you ever thought about why? Is it just less pleasant or less fun to be by yourself? Or perhaps there's something deeper going on, something so basic to humans that some of the worst punishments ever devised include shunning, ostracism, solitary confinement, and exile. Why is emotional connection so crucial? According to neuroscientist Stephen Porges, mammals have evolved a unique coping instinct in which they are calmed by proximity or engagement with others. Hey! Instead of just having the involuntary stress reactions of fight, flight, or freeze, like reptiles do, mammals can calm their heart rate and reduce the physical cost of stress by seeking reassuring contact with others of their kind. Certain vagus, vagus, Nerve pathways in mammals have evolved to allow stress hormones and heart rate to be reduced by comforting in such forms as physical closeness, touch, soothing sounds, and even eye contact. These calming effects conserve valuable energy and also create pleasurable social bonds that promote strong groups. For all mammals, including humans, something magical happens when this desire to seek comfort switches on. The danger might not go away, but individuals can stay relatively calm. Individuals can stay relatively calm as long as they feel tied in their herd. If they feel tied into, oh my gosh, Jaleesa, Vegas, eat vagus. Each of the 10th pair of cranial nerves supplying the heart, lungs, upper digestive tract, and other, oh, vagus, upper digestive tract, and other organs of the chest and abdomen. Oh, okay, cool. Cool. Thank you. I love this. I love the word thing right now. I'm definitely loving that. Let's see. Most mammals have stressful, okay. The danger might not go away, but individuals can stay relatively calm as long as they feel tied into their herd, pack, or circle of loved ones. Most mammals have stressful lives, but thanks to their instinct for engaging with others, calming, comfort, and restored energy are just a friendly contact away. This gives mammals a tremendous advantage over other animals when it comes to dealing with stress in an energy efficient way, since they don't have to go into fight, flight, or freeze every time they sense a threat. Okay. So when everybody started going crazy because they weren't touching people during the quarantine last year, y'all remember? You remember how hard it was during that first part of quarantine when the restrictions were the tightest that they were and no one could be around each other? Now, did some of us have our quarantine buddies? Yeah. Yeah. There was a period of time where I was not seeing much of anybody at all. And it drove me crazy. I could feel my skin. I could literally feel my skin wanting to touch another human and not being able to access another human and feeling like not that I was going to die, but that it was slowly killing me. Like just a little bit. Okay, so a subsection under internalizers have strong instinct for genuine engagement. Understanding that connection is normal, not dependent. Understanding that connection is normal, not dependent. That's the next section. It's crucial that internalizers see their instinctive desire for emotional engagement as a positive thing rather than interpreting it to mean they're too needy or dependent. Instinctively turning to others for comfort when stressed makes people stronger and more adaptive. Even if they've been shamed by an unresponsive parent for needing attention, their emotional needs show that their healthy mammalian instinct for seeking comfort is working well. Internalizers instinctively know that there's strength in being interdependent, as all mammals evolved to be. Only emotionally phobic, emotionally immature people believe that wanting empathy and understanding is a sign of weakness. I would too. Jaleesa said, I wonder about people who don't desire human interaction or touch. I'd love to see their chemical makeup. I would too, because it makes me wonder if it's a neurological thing or a trauma response, because it might be a trauma response. Or it could be a neurological thing. I don't know. I mean, it's not necessarily that something's wrong with them, but for something that's such a natural, across the board mammalian thing, like it makes me think that it's a trauma response rather than it being something that comes natural. And that because they may have gotten that that disconnection at birth, like when they were babies, where it's just like, well, if you're crying, because like I've already said this before, and we talked about it a little bit in the book, but like the whole like letting the baby cry, it relieved, like letting the baby cry and then the mother learning how to tune it out, it relieves stress for the mother or for the parent, the life-giving parent. I'm I want my language to be more inclusive. It relieves stress for the life-giving parent. However, the baby stress continues to go up. The baby stress continues even when the parent has learned to tune out the baby. Hey, welcome in. I never thought about being a trauma response. Yes, a good point. Yeah, thank you. Of course, we're reading Adult Children of Immature, Emotionally Immature Parents. And thank you. Thank you. Yes. So that first section under here was understanding that connection is normal, not dependent. The next one is called forging emotional connections outside the family. Due to their perceptiveness and strong needs for social engagement, children who are internalizers are usually adept at finding potential sources of emotional connection outside the family. They notice when people respond to them warmly, and they naturally seek out relationships with safe people outside the family to gain an increased sense of security. Many of my clients have warm memories of a neighbor, relative, or teacher who made a huge difference in helping them feel valued and attended to. Others found similar support from pets or childhood buddies. Internalizers may feel emotionally nurtured as they resonate with the beauty of nature or art. Spirituality can also provide this emotional nurturance as internalizers experience and relate to a greater presence that accompanies them no matter what. Ha! It's me. I can name family members that make me feel valued and seen. I can name teachers that made me feel valued and seen in ways that I didn't get at home. I can also think of, let's keep it a buck, something that I've talked about on this show. And now I'm starting to realize it's a response to emotional loneliness, my need for connection. Let me tell you about my need for connection and my need for love and my need to be seen and heard and paid attention to on an individual level. I have had a boyfriend at least one a year since I was in preschool. I started preschool at 4. I was younger than the people in my class. So if everybody started at 5, I started at 4. And from preschool, kindergarten, I had a boyfriend in kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, college, all the years in college. And then after college, for all those years. And right now I don't have a boyfriend. However, your girl still wants connection and is working on her connection. Because emotionally lonely. Okay. And that's just my truth. That is just my truth. And especially because it was like, oh, you're not allowed to have a boyfriend. I wasn't allowed to have a boyfriend until I was 16 years old. But I literally did not care. As somebody that was following the rules, I did not care to break that rule because when I remember being in school, and when I didn't have a boyfriend to focus my attention on, I did not do well in school. And then when I got a boyfriend and had someone that would give me my attention, that would hold my hand, give me affection, write me love letters, and let me know that I'm loved or liked or paid attention to in any regard, then I would do better in school because I filled a need. I was filling a need with a person that I needed at home. Da-da-da! Don't have more than 3 kids if there's 2 people in the house. I just would like for y'all to do that, please. Don't have more than 3 kids if there's only 2 adults in the house. Get a nanny, get an extra spouse, something, because y'all are outnumbered. And there's no way that you can give the individual attention that children need when there's only 2 people, 2 parents, and 5 children, and 6 children, and 7 children. There's no way. There's no way. Unless you're going to invite aunties and stuff in the house, there's no way to give your children the individual attention they need to feel totally fulfilled by their parent. Children did not ask to be here. They owe you nothing. You owe them everything. And if that hurts to hear, I would apologize, but I'm not sorry because choices were made unless your choice was taken from you and you had a child based on that, choices were made that led to children being born. And you did not think about how heavy of a choice that was when you were engaging in a temporary feeling. You let a temporary feeling make a permanent decision for you. No one wants a Duggar family disaster. I mean, it is what it is. Like, I mean, sorry, y'all. I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. It wasn't fair. It wasn't fair. It wasn't fair that people who were not ready to have children got together, made people, and didn't really think how big of a decision it actually was that they were making. It's not fair that our parents' generation was not given sex education that would actually help them be more cautious about their actions. It's not fair that Black and brown people and people that come from lower income communities are not given the resources so that they don't have a lot of kids. But this is not just, I mean, I'm not about to sit here and just put all the blame on individual parents, because I know some of it is because of sex education. I know a lot of it is because of sex education. I know a lot of it is because they were learning about the repercussions of sex in the 80s and 90s in a way that with AIDS and all that stuff, in a way that they didn't even think would fucking happen. You know, there were a lot of factors, and I don't just sit here and be like, parents are bad. However, they're responsible for their decisions. They're responsible for their decisions. And if you weren't equipped to follow through on your decision, you should not have made that decision for everyone involved. You should not have committed to a decision that you were not equipped to follow through on fully. And that's just the fact of the matter. And this is not exclusive to the ones that give birth. This includes the people that help, the people that provide the sperm. Like, this includes them as well, because they were not equipped to follow through on a decision that they made based on a temporary feeling. And now their children have to suffer. Now we got to read freaking books on the internet to heal from childhood and pay therapists week after week, month after month, and spend our days and nights journaling, meditating, doing all this stuff to make sense of our existence, and answer the question, why am I here? What was the point of me being here? Because you know what? Like, the next section is called Forging Emotional Connections Outside the Family. And I'm going to get it back to that. But you know what? It's just not fair, man. And I know life ain't fair. But you know what? A lot of those phrases that they tell us to make us get over what we're obviously feeling is so that the responsibility is not on the parent to make sure that the child is okay. So telling me to get over, like me having these, like think about it. So me saying life's not fair is like me stating it's not fair that this happened to me, that my existence was off of a spur of the moment fucking thing, that my existence was based off of something that should not have happened. And now I'm here. I'm alive and having to do life based on a decision I did not fucking make. Then for me to be like, it's not fair that y'all made that decision about my life without fully considering what it meant and following through on your commitment to being my parent, right? Me saying that that's not fair prompts people to be like, well, honey, life's not fair. And that's a lot of people and da-da-da-da-da. Yeah. So these are the things that we say. These are the things that we say to each other to make each other be like, you got to get over it. You got to keep pushing. Fuck that. My real emotional reaction, my real emotional problems come from the fact that a decision that was fairly unfairly made is my life. It's my whole life. I wonder how many people, and I wish there was some sort of study for those of us who have struggled with desiring to take our own life at some point in our life. I wonder how many people who have attempted, had the desire, successfully did it. I wonder how many of those people were born to people who were not emotionally mature, who had parents that were emotionally immature. I wonder how many of those people had parents that were emotionally immature that made them feel like, I wish I didn't exist because so many people's lives are worse off because of my existence. Like, and that's an extreme form of it. That's an extreme reaction to it. But that was part of, when I went through that, that was part of my, I always talk about this topic when I wear pink, but that was part of my thing. Like, I thought about my whole life because so the way that they were talking about how this emotional attunement to the parents and their stress levels and stuff like that starts in infancy, starts in the womb really, and really truly begins in infancy. My memories start right around 4 or 5 years old, right around there. That's where my memories really start. But there's my mother told me, and this is, telling business, but it is what it is. It's part of my experience. My mother told me that one of the reasons why she left my dad is because I was a child. I was a toddler. I got up on the couch while they were arguing, and I asked them to stop arguing. Please stop fighting. As a 3 or 4 year old, I'm getting up on the couch and I'm like, please stop fighting between two grown ass adults. And that was when my mom was like, maybe I shouldn't be with him anymore, because now the child who is less than 5 years old is intervening, asking us to not fight, and whether that's the truth or not, the fact that I believe that to be true, because that's how deep in my body I know I can sense stress. Like, it's not fair. It's not fair to involve children in your, it's not fair. It's not fair. It's not fair. Let me go ahead to the next section. Forging emotional connections outside the family. Due to their perceptiveness and strong needs for social engagement, children who are internalizers are usually adept at finding potential sources of emotional connection outside the family. They notice when people respond to them warmly, and they naturally seek out relationships with safe people outside the family to gain an increased sense of security. Many of my clients have warm memories. Let's see. So Shannon's sharing a story. My parents physically fighting on the floor and maybe being 4 or 5 screaming for them to stop. They were on the kitchen floor and I was standing on a chair. I'll tell my mess too. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your mess in solidarity. Because we're internalizers. And even as children, we can sense that things are amok, that mess is afoot, and that this is not right. And that children can perceive that violence and anger and that kind of shit is dangerous. But just get over it. They tell us, people tell us. Okay. Many of my clients have warm memories of a neighbor, relative, or teacher who made a huge difference in helping them feel valued or attended to. Others found similar support from pets or childhood buddies. Internalizers may even feel emotionally nurtured as they resonate with the beauty of nature or art. Spirituality can also provide this emotional nurturance, as internalizers experience and relate to a greater presence that accompanies them no matter what. Externalizers also have a need for emotional comforting, but they tend to force such needs on other people, taking others emotionally hostage with their reactivity. They often use their behavior to coerce certain responses from other people, but because they achieve these responses through manipulation, the attention they receive is never as satisfying as a free and genuine exchange of emotional intimacy. Externalizers also demand attention by blaming or guilt tripping others. As a result, people may end up feeling that they have to help whether they want to or not, creating resentment over the long run. I'm not even going to go into that, but y'all know people that are like that constantly guilt people into giving them attention, and they're constantly doing things and being super like making their distress everyone's problem because they don't know how to process or internalize the shit. Anyway, the next section, and this is probably going to be the last section I read. Nope, there's 2 more sections. I'm going to read those 2 sections and then I'll stop, okay? The relationship between avoiding engagement and emotional maturity. Most emotionally immature people tend to be externalizers who don't know how to calm themselves through genuine emotional engagement. When they feel insecure, instead of seeking comfort from the other people, they tend to feel threatened and launch into fight, flight, or freeze behaviors. They react to anxious moments in relationships with rigid defensive behaviors that alienate other people rather than bringing them closer. Anger, blame, criticism, and domination are all signs of poorly functioning skills in seeking comfort. Externalizers simply don't know how to reach out for soothing, so they act a little cray-cray. Externalizers who get very upset may look like they have a strong drive towards emotional engagement, but their approach is more like panicking than connecting. It takes a lot to calm them, and even then, they still seem vaguely mistrustful and dissatisfied because they aren't open to connecting fully. Trying to calm an upset externalizer is an unsatisfying experience for both people, as the person providing comfort has no sense of truly helping. So you know that friend that's always down in the dumps, and it feels like they just constantly want to be miserable because they don't do any of the emotional work. They don't do emotional labor. They don't do the fucking work. And so they use you, the internalizer, and people, all kinds of people do this, but we know we have a friend. We all have a friend. I've had a friend. I don't have any friends like that no more. Because I don't play that. But having that friend that don't want to do emotional labor, so they constantly call you and look to you to do the emotional labor for them because they know you're going to process stuff for them without them having to do the work and give them the answers. And then when they get the answers, they don't do shit with it because it is easier for them to make it everyone else's problem than to sit and be like, all right, what am I doing wrong? These are people who everywhere they go, welcome in. These are the people who, like when the people that like every time they get a job, always have an issue with the job. And it's not because there's some sort of discriminatory thing going on, but they always got beef with people at work because they don't know how to fucking like reflect, internalize, and deal with the situations based on what they need. And again, externalizers are not bad people. They just are emotionally immature and they don't know how to do the work internally. And it's hard work for them to do it because their trauma response is to externalize. Okay. The last section before we end for tonight, the role of emotional connection skills in physical survival. Woo! I'm sure this is going to be some of the stuff I had to use when I was in an abusive relationship. A strong sense for comforting through close connection has benefits beyond just making people feel better. It can be a lifesaver. Using close relationships for reassurance and support is one of the traits that help people survive extreme life-threatening conditions. If a person's only way of coping is to fight, flee, or freeze up when things become stressful, imagine how hard it would be for that person to endure a lengthy survival challenge. Like a pandemic. You see some of these people out here struggling and they got to be in the club every 5 seconds because they don't know how to stay at home and deal with the shit. Research into people who live through nearly impossible circumstances shows that they invariably call upon their present relationships and memories of loved ones as sources of inspiration and determination to survive. Given that emotional connection is powerful enough to support people through catastrophic events, think of what it could do for ordinary daily coping. Everyone needs a deep sense of connection in order to feel fully secure, and there's nothing weak about it. We need people. We need people. We need people. We need people. We need each other. We need connection. We need emotional connection. We need safety. We need emotional safety. We need emotional safety. We need emotional safety, y'all. A lot of the reason why a lot of us treat each other like shit is because we've never had a safe space to just be ourselves and say the things, even the dark, terrible things that we think, because we're afraid of being judged, ridiculed, ostracized, harmed, yelled at, screamed at, shamed. We're so afraid of how people will react to us because we've had people react in those ways for us just being ourselves. We can do this, and it is not weak to feel things. It is not weak to acknowledge that you need help and you need people, because you need help and you need people. You need help and you need people. You need help. Ain't nothing wrong with it. You ain't weak for it. You need help and you need people. Michael Jackson had a team. Beyonce has a team. The president has a team. Jesus had a team. So what makes you better than them? What makes you more or like a better person at accommodating all your emotional needs? Nothing, baby. Use people. Don't abuse their willingness to help, but allow them to serve you and serve them. Nothing. All like Rumpelstiltskin said in Once Upon a Time, all magic comes with a price. So if you want somebody that's an internalizer to be a comfort to you, that comes with a price. You better come with offering. You better come with offering, because it is work that they're doing. And this is the last year, y'all, for real. I feel like this is the last time of our lives where we don't put value on what people bring to the table emotionally. Because a lot of times when people are talking about like choosing romantic partners and stuff like that, we tell people, okay, well, what are you bringing to the table? And we're asking them for tangible shit that they bring to the table. We're asking them about the money they bring, the cars, the house, the actual fucking table. We're asking them about their job, and we're asking about the capitalistic value to our lives, completely negating that there's emotional value. What I bring to the table, the emotional work that I do, the way that people I've dated are better people for knowing me. And that's not a brag or a flex. It's because I do the emotional work. I'm an internalizer who does the emotional work, and I make it my business to be attuned to my partner. So when their lives improve emotionally, when they become better people and whole people, because they're around someone who actually does this after being around a bunch of people that told them you need to man up and not cry. Don't who feelings, blah, blah, blah. No. But when those of us who are internalizers, who have that nurturing spirit, and I'm not going to assign that to a gender, because there are all kinds of genders. But those of us who are internalizers that have nurturing spirits, who do deep emotional labor, who are emotionally mature, who spend our days and nights reading, reflecting, researching, learning, constantly doing those things, people look at us as if we do not bring something to the table that is worth its weight in fucking gold. And it is. You can't buy this. You cannot buy this. So I say all that to say, those of us who are in that position, I know it may seem like you don't bring a lot to the table, but you do. You bring healing, you bring salvation, you bring value to their lives. And if you're lucky enough, you end up helping someone learn how to do, you not only lead the horse to water, but you teach them how to drink. You teach them how to drink and be what they need for themselves. That's why, and I say this all the freaking time, it is my business to teach people how to be themselves and to love themselves. I want y'all to be the youest you can possibly be. And I want you to be able to know, yes, internalizers unite. It's usually internalizers up in here. Externalizers don't like being around here because it makes them uncomfortable. But I want you to be the youest you that you can possibly be. And we're going to do that. You deserve to be yourself. You deserve to be emotionally mature. You deserve to cry if you need to cry. You deserve to be sad and be emotionally express. You deserve to be emotionally expressive because your body literally needs you to do it. You deserve to have connection with people and closeness to people, and you're not weak for it. You are a human having a human experience and following your biological instinct to connect with others. So feel no shame when you need to cry, when you are angry. The only thing that you can do is look at yourself and be like, why? Where is that coming from? What can I do to heal that wound? That's all you can do. And that's what we're doing here on Reading What Miss Taylor Said. That's why we read the books that we read. I'm not about to sit here and read a whole bunch of self-help books that's just going to tell you the same regurgitated shit over and over again. If you believe in yourself, if you love yourself, you can do it. Like, no, fuck out of here. No, we are going to learn. I didn't want to. I want to show y'all what the next book is going to be, but I'll wait until we're on the last chapter to show you. But the next book that I have coming up is going to be another book that talks about stuff like this, where we're looking into behavioral patterns and adjusting ourselves for those of us who are internalizers, who are overly nice, who are overly accommodating and things like that. That's the next book that we're going to go into. But as of today, we're still in chapter 6, but tomorrow's section is going to be internalizers are apologetic about needing help. So if you missed today's, if you were just now hopping in, I'm about to close out so you can watch the playback. I definitely recommend y'all watching yesterday's episode, the last few episodes, just so you know, especially yesterday's episode, so you know what an internalizer versus an externalizer is. And I just hope that y'all have a great night. And those that are internalizers, don't be too hard on yourselves about feeling. Don't be too hard on yourselves about feeling. And those of you that are externalizers, it's okay if you feel some stuff sometimes. It's okay if you let yourself be upset and not make it everyone's problem and not lash out on people. That sometimes your upsetness is that, and when I say make it everyone's problem, I mean being harmful to them. You can reach out to people and just be like, I need help. I'm hurting and I don't know what to do with it. Y'all be yourselves. I love you dearly. I'll see y'all tomorrow. I'm going to do a poll pretty soon. I want to get some other stuff going, but I think I'm going to start after this week. I'm going to officially move the show to 7 p.m. I get a better turnout whenever I start late, and it's a more comfortable time for me to start this. So I think I'm going to move the time to 7 p.m. It's been suggested to me, but I needed to see that that's something I want to do. So now that I've been hard-headed enough and accepted, we're going to starting closer to 7. All right, y'all. I hope y'all have a great night. I will see y'all tomorrow, and y'all go be good and take some time. I know today's episode was a little bit heavy, so take some time, take care of yourself. Don't force yourself to keep digging in, be kind to yourself. Love y'all. Bye. See ya. All right. And YouTube, y'all was here the longest. I'll see y'all later.